Minecraft Skyblock has some custom recipes that make a ton of money, and one of those is known as cheesecake, which we are going to be making today. Before we begin though, consider subscribing as I'd very much appreciate it. Now let's begin. So the plan is we're going to be going ahead and upgrading our iron fuel setup as well as getting ourselves the cheesecake recipe going. Last video we did unlock the cheesecake recipe as well as moon pie, which are two recipes that kind of connect with each other, and I would like to set up at least cheesecake today, which involves putting sugar into a smelter bot to get caramel and milk into a smelter bot into aged cheese. So in order to get this going, we have the caramel going already, but the problem is I want to make it its own system away from all the other items being collected in here. So I might make its own system right over here, and that's about it. So we'll turn on our chunks and we're gonna go out to, I think, a full chunk area and just fill this all in with grass, and this will be our cheesecake and moon pie area when we do get moon pie going, of course. But we'll go ahead and start expanding this out, and if you are gonna buy anything on the Cosmic Store, make sure to use my creator code not Connor. Basically, cheesecake is one of the most essential recipes, if not the most essential recipe for early game money and just money in general, so I would like to get this going as soon as possible. I did not realize that I put this on the very bottom Y level, the coal and the fuel setup, so I would like to actually just move this up and put it on top of the grass, which I am just now throwing potions for no reason. Anyways, you get the point. We're going to be filling this in, and then we're going to fill this in and move it up, just so then everything's level in case we start doing this with the lapis at some point for moon pie and the cheesecake. It does look a little bit funky. I'll maybe fill this in at some point around the island, but for now it's good enough. We'll go ahead and pick up all the coal first, and then we'll start placing it in on the higher up level, and then we'll break the bot and move up the fuel. We're just doing a little bit of renovations here. Okay, so we got that done. We got the bot upgrades in. We're gonna go ahead and grab out more iron nodes. Where are they at? Here we go. So I think it was 48 iron we need, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buy a stack of them in case we want to make another layer at some point. So we got 48 there. Let's get another bot. So grab this out, and I got a ton of upgrades, as you can see. Still been purchasing more off camera, getting as many of those as possible, and we're gonna go ahead and grab hoppers, and I'm gonna show off what we do with this. But since this bot's gonna be in the place of where the node is gonna be, or at least one of them, we don't need a stone brick. So if we go here, this is the 4 in the direction. No, this is it. Okay, right here. This is where the bot's gonna sit, and then we just replicate the whole layout. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but if you have a hopper facing this way, it still feeds into bots, which is very, very good. So I highly recommend doing it. It's easier to compact things, but as you can see, now it's going in here, which essentially is gonna get us more iron scraps and then craft more iron fuel with the coal. Pretty simple. And I might honestly go ahead and switch this over to iron fuel right here, this channel. We're gonna switch it over to iron fuel, and the reason for that is because I don't want coal to be crafting with coal. It's not very optimal because we're gonna need all this coal to make more iron fuel. That is pretty much the whole purpose. So for the sugarcane collection, we're gonna be making it go into a link channel, which we have a ton of them, and that's gonna be for just cheesecake making, because sugarcane is kind of gonna be in a different spot across from this, so we need at least 2 link chests, I think, which is a lot of money. So we're gonna make it 4 long, so it has the double chest setup, and then right here is gonna be the link channel, and I think we're gonna do the green channel because it's sugarcane. Might as well put down the chests and then put these in their respective chunks, pick up the sugarcane, and we'll let this start collecting again. And I think I'm gonna make the cycle on this 30 now for this guy, so it's roughly gonna be 22.5, I think, for its cycle, because sugarcane grows really quick compared to any other kind of crop. But there we go. We got that going. The sugarcane is going in here now. So now we're gonna go ahead and start removing the crafter that we built last video. It's gonna be moved over to here instead, and then we're gonna have the cows in this area and all the other mobs, so then they're all in one area. So what I think I'm gonna do is bundle all the cheesecakes. So we're gonna get a bundler out, a tier 2, I think. We do have a ton of bundle bots, so we should be fine as well. Go 1, 2, and then I think we'll put the bundler here. So the crafter is gonna go on top of the bundler for the first one, and we put a tier 1 and tier 2 in. There we go. Set this to, I think, cheesecake, if we can find it. There we go, cheesecake. All right, smelter boy, place that down, which I did did buy a tier 3 upgrade because they just came out recently, the tier 3 upgrades in the adventures. So I purchased one for like 10 million. Quite pricey, but definitely worth it. And then on this side of the smelter, we're gonna have, I believe, another crafter, which is gonna be for the sugar. It's going into the greens, so it quite literally can just hop right into here already without any issues whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and set this to sugar. And then to fuel all of these, I'm gonna have that staggered pattern we made. Okay, so I just found a flaw with this. The problem is the smelter bot picks up from any side, even if it's not feeding into the direct smelter bot. So if I put a hopper here, it's gonna mess up the fueling. So we're gonna have to push this back one. Basically, you have to have a 1 block gap, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's the way the bot has always been. But now you put a hopper facing here, and then you can just use 1 link channel for fueling. So we'll go ahead and let this start fueling on our best fuel, of course. Get these guys fueled up properly. Also, to speed things up, we're gonna start putting in fuel with all the bundles I've stocked up over time, just so we can get all this done and over with for the fueling. So I've just now realized the crafter does the same exact thing, but the thing is, the crafter is never gonna use this for anything, and that part is never gonna be used, so it's not really that much of an issue. It's the problem with the smelter where it only has 1 row, and this is directed towards this 1 row here. So if this fills up with iron fuel, I'm not really upset about that. It literally doesn't matter. Actually, never mind. We can fix the bot by facing him this way. That is literally the easiest solution ever because it doesn't feed from the front of it. So we're good now. So we got that fixed. We're gonna go ahead and go into the science shop, get a ton of hoppers. Let's go ahead and buy all these. Just get up to 18 of them. And then we're gonna put a hopper going into here. And we're gonna actually break this one because it needs to flow into the bundler as well. We're trying to make this all work in one system, which is possible. It just takes a lot of effort, of course, without having to use multiple link chests. So the only thing we're missing is the HGs, really. That's quite literally it. So we're gonna go ahead and grab out our Slayer bot. We're gonna take it off zombies. It's about time we get rid of this. So we'll go ahead, break down these spawners, and I will move my alt eventually if I need to. And we have a ton of cows. We have roughly 2 stacks, so we should be fine. I've purchased a lot of cows preparing for this as well. This whole area can kind of go because we don't really need it anymore. It was kind of like a temporary setup, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and knock these mobs into the void. Once we have the cows figured out, I think right over here, we're gonna move my alt. So let's get that figured out really quick. And then we go up a total of 4, and we go bam, bam, and bam. Make sure they're all 20 stacks. And I guess we can do one more to get 100 total. Wouldn't hurt to do so. And then for my alt account, I'm gonna put him right in the corner. So I'm gonna move him really quickly. All right, the alt is now moved and in position. There we go. So it can render all the spawners pretty easy. So for the Slayer, we're gonna have him roughly right here. And we're gonna put in its upgrades, of course. And we'll line up the cow with the setup. I have an idea of how we can line it up, actually. It's using fences. So we gotta break the bot, but if we go ahead and put fences like this, for example, we can put the bot down in the fence, which is very neat and handy. So now I can literally line them up right in the corner, and if we want to put in a second bot, it could literally go right here, which is perfect. We are gonna put down the same hopper system we had before, put down our link chest, and put it to the best fuel, and then it should start fueling this guy pretty quick here. Okay, so we got that going, and also if we check up on the iron fuel, you can see it's already going up. The iron is getting mined. We should be getting way more fuel than we were getting before. Should be crafting a ton more because we're getting way more drops. And it should be going in 2 sides now, if anything. Yeah, because we needed the double setup to make sure this works properly, or else it would overflow and just waste a ton of scraps. You don't really want that. Wasting scraps is not good, because then you're losing out on fuel, of course. Now we're gonna set up the collection for leather and the raw beef, and we're gonna smoker the raw beef, of course. So we're gonna go here, put some smokers in, and then this is gonna be the leather. We'll go ahead and just already set up the leather. We do need 3 collection chests. We need 1 for the leather here, so we'll go to grinding and go to leather. Now leather should all go down here, which should happen any moment. As you can see, it's going in now, which is perfect. And then for the raw beef, I am gonna do the double collection. Might as well. So we go grinding, go here, raw beef goes right into these, and we need another link chest. Oh my gosh. I think we're at a link chest now, but I think that's the last one we need. And we're just gonna set it to coal so it can automatically be filled. I'm not bothering filling this on my own. That is too much effort, too tedious for me. But as you can see, all the beef is going into here, getting all cooked. So then I have food for adventure. So we'll go ahead and put in the proper items on the floor here. and then it represents the items, of course. Pretty simple of a concept with the item frames there. Now we're gonna go ahead, put in the milk. Let's go ahead, go to slang, put the milk in. I am gonna pick up what's here right now and chuck it in the smelter and see if this works out. Will we get cheesecake here? That is the real question. There we go. Cheesecake is being made. Oh my gosh. I know I'm not supposed to sell this, and we're gonna be bundling it and stocking it up, but we are gonna sell hand, and that was $6,500 in no time at all. So imagine if we got the moon pie recipe with lapis down in this chunk eventually. Oh my gosh, that's insane amounts of money. I see a bright future for money making from this. So we're gonna give a few updates here on what I've done to the cheesecake machine and the reasons, of course, why I've done these changes. So first of all, the cooker for the steak is only one because it turns out this many cows here doesn't really need more than that. It keeps up perfectly fine, which is good enough. And then the leather, of course, is normal, but now I've made two separate systems, of course, still with the staggered pattern to make sure they're getting fueled properly with one link chest. We have one making all the caramel and then bundling it, and then one making all the aged cheese and then bundling that. So then we can go ahead and grab out the bundles and make sure things don't backlog, because the thing is, with the system we had before, that system can backlog and you'd have to check it every day, at least once or twice. With this, you can just take out the bundles every day and put them in a chest and move on, not even having to worry at all. And you can also go ahead and put the bundles in here and then make the aged cheese, as you can see. And then I also labeled all these. As you can see, they're all labeled now. And I went ahead and built a second layer of the sugarcane farm, as well as expanded it out to double the size of what it was before. So whatever we had right here in the middle is now double, and then we built two of those. So now we have these on an interval of roughly 5 cycles, which is 3.8 seconds on both of these, because they fill up pretty quick and don't really need a refill for so long apparently. So basically we're making a ton of sugarcane into caramel, and it's all gonna turn into cheesecake, which eventually I'll set up a bundler for this. For now, it doesn't really need a bundler, even though it definitely could use one. I'm not too worried. Also, if you did enjoy this video a ton, make sure to leave a like. I'd appreciate it a ton. That being said, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.